Good morning, Calling Up community. I'm Claudia Alick, and this morning I will be sharing with you information on swatting, doxing, and weaponized systems of justice against marginalized peoples. So, woke up this morning, I'm in my new housing, I'm still moving in, but it's so accessible. I'm so happy, y'all. And I did my sun salutations, my physical therapy exercises, drank some water, communed with nature, and then got online at 7 a.m. like a healthy human being. And this is what I tweeted. Fighting white supremacy is dangerous and necessary. Weaponized calls to 911 are the IRL equivalent to my tweets getting reported as racist because I call out racism. Swatting, doxing, and harassing anti-racist activists must stop. This was in response to a tweet that was sent by Ijeoma Oluo this morning at 6:18 a.m. I just got a phone call from the King County Sheriff's Office saying that there was a report of gunshots at my home. My older son is there alone. I called him and woke him up. There were no gunshots. These hateful white supremacists are trying to get my family killed. Next tweet. I'm so glad that I'd already spoken with the sheriff's office a few weeks ago and let them know I had been doxxed and was a swatting risk. They knew to call me before sending an armed response. I'm a mess, y'all, and I'm very, very angry. I'm flying home now. It's going to be a very long flight. 6:18 a.m. in the morning on a plane. Someone apparently called and said there were 2 dead bodies in my house. These monsters. The King County Sheriff's Office handled this incident with great care. I'm so grateful. Last tweet. Everyone on this plane had to hear me talk to the cops and my son. They are being so sweet, offering tissues and hugs while I cry. And my neighbor stayed with my son until the cops left. My partner has been checking on him too. The community is better than the hate of a few. The community is better than the hate of a few. That is right. But also, we are vulnerable to the hate of a few. So, vocabulary. I use the word doxing. Now, doxing is based on, on dox, D-O-X, which is an abbreviation of documents. Now, doxing, which is spelled with 1 X or 2 X's, it is the practice of researching and then broadcasting the private and identifying information, especially personally identifying information like your address or your phone number or your email, about an individual or organization online. This is specifically done to make the person vulnerable in real life. Doxing is the action, swatting, S-W-A-T-T-I-N-G. Swatting is a criminal harassment tactic of deceiving emergency services into sending a police and emergency service response team to another person's address. And it's triggered by false reporting of serious law enforcement emergencies such as bombs, murders, hostage situations, etc. So it's the action or practice of making a false report to the emergency service to bring about the dispatch of a large number of armed police officers to a particular address, in the knowledge that oftentimes when those systems are triggered, they physically harm people and people get killed. So, swatting, doxing. She's already been doxed. She knew she'd been doxed, so she knew that she needed to call the state police and say, hey, I have been targeted by white supremacists who are spreading my personal contact information around. And if anyone makes a report about my home, call me first before you send an army of armed police to violently stop whatever you think you need to stop. Now, online, this equivalent is you have the corporatized system of justice created by Twitter platform or Facebook platform, and I do a tweet about being against white supremacy, and then a white supremacist reports it as being racist, and then my account gets completely shut down. This has happened to myself on several occasions. This happens to activists all the time. So these systems of justice that have been created that are supposedly there to create outcomes of justice for everyone on the platform often are easily manipulated to create outcomes of injustice. And I think it's because they're not actually justice-based systems. They're punitive and policing systems. So the outcomes that they are doing are outcomes of control. They aren't necessarily outcomes of positive justice for marginalized people. So we've learned about swatting, we've learned about doxing, we've learned about the online equivalent of this terrible practice, and we also have learned about the in real life terrible practice. I'm going to end this video with this sentence. The community is better than the hate of a few. All right, calling up community. I will be leaving a few resources to learn more about this and to also see what you can do to help support fighting, doxing, swatting, and the weaponization of the systems of state justice against marginalized people. And I guess corporatized justice on these online platforms.